What's going on, bottom line viewers? It's Mitch here of the Bottom Line View, here to break down the trade that sends Cordarrelle Patterson to the New England Patriots. The Patriots and the Raiders switch 5th and 6th round picks. The Patriots getting a 6th round pick and the Raiders getting a 5th round pick. So basically, a change of a round for a player. So Cordarrelle Patterson, another player that comes to the Patriots for a cheap price, another player that Belichick thinks can fit a need that's going to come with a cheap number, a cheap price, and not much in terms of compensation. So the Patriots, again, looking to address needs through trade. They've already made 3 trades this offseason. Jason McCourty, Danny Shelton, 2 with the Browns, and now 1 with the Raiders. I wouldn't be surprised if they actually made another one with the Raiders at the draft or something, just because maybe that is now an established relationship. John Gruden is now there as the head coach. They've made a trade already, and we've seen they've made a lot of trades with the Browns. So, maybe they continue to make trades with the Raiders as well. But the Patriots acquire Cordarrelle Patterson. Who is Cordarrelle Patterson? Cordarrelle Patterson is one of the best kick returners in the NFL, arguably the best. He is a 3-time All-Pro, a 2-time Pro Bowler as a kick returner. He was also a pretty good receiver in his rookie season, but since then he hasn't really done much in that regard. He's really a gadget offensive player. He's extremely fast. He's very explosive. He has good quickness. He's good with the ball in his hands. And that's what we're going to get into when talking about Cordarrelle Patterson, not only the kick returner, but also how the Patriots could use him offensively and in some of their packages and in gadget plays and things of that such. We'll discuss that. But looking at Cordarrelle Patterson's career, he is currently 27 years old. He's 6'2", 216. He has good size for the receiver position, although he doesn't play it very much. Apparently his nickname is The Flash, although I've never heard that. His career numbers, he's had 163 catches, 1,600 yards, and 7 touchdowns. I think most of that came in one season. Actually, he's had a couple of okay seasons overall. So in 2013, he was a rookie. He made the Pro Bowl, and he was an All-Pro player as a receiver and a returner. As a receiver, he had 45 catches, 469 yards, and 4 touchdowns. And running the football, he had 3 touchdowns on 12 carries. In 2014, he had 33 catches for 384 for 1 touchdown, and also another touchdown on the ground on 10 carries. So this is a guy that's gotten a lot of carries as well. His most carries in a season has been 13. So typically he'll get about 1 carry a game or so. So 13 carries with the Raiders for 121 yards and 2 touchdowns last season. That's 9.3 yards per attempt. I'm surprised that really the Raiders didn't try him more often, considering that they have really had some difficulties getting running backs that have been successful overall. I mean, the Lynch was okay last year, but Cordarrelle Patterson, I'm surprised, wasn't used more in terms of a kind of change of pace back. In Minnesota in 2016, he had a pretty good year. He had 52 catches for 453 yards and 2 touchdowns, and then 7 rushes for 43. But he also made it again as a kick returner to the Pro Bowl and to the All-Pro team. And last season, he had 31 catches, 309 yards, uses mostly the 4th receiver on the team. And like I said, 13 carries, 121 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So overall, he's played most of his career with Minnesota, where they drafted him in 2013. And then last season, he played in Oakland. He actually played New England last season. I think he had like 2 catches last year for like 40 yards against the Patriots. He had a pretty good game overall. So Cordarrelle Patterson, what can he bring to the Patriots besides his kick returning, which is amongst the best in the league? He's going to bring them a consistent kick returning force. I'm not sure if he actually returns punts very much, but I know he's for sure a kick returner. But I think that the Patriots will use him as a punt returner as well. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not sure if he is a big-time punt returner, but he has done it in the past. I'm just not sure if he's consistent with it. But the Patriots, they needed a kick returner. They needed a returner in general because they lost Danny Amendola, who is the punt returner. and they lost Dion Lewis, who was the kick returner. So now they get Cordarrelle Patterson, who can come in and be the kick returner, and as well, maybe the punt returner. I need some water. All right. So Patterson. I've always liked him as a kick returner, as a receiver, as a player on offense. He's had some intrigue to me. And what I want to know from you guys is not only how you feel on the deal, but also what do you think the Patriots will do with him? Like, what do you think his role on the team will be? Outside of kick returning, do you think he'll have some time at running back, receiver? What do you think he'll be doing? Now, the Patriots, I think what they'll be doing with him is, I don't know if you guys remember, but back in 2012, they used Aaron Hernandez a lot as like a running back gadget player. And of course, Aaron Hernandez was a tight end. I think that they'll use Patterson in similar ways, motioning him as receiver, then back to running back, maybe giving him the ball a few times on runs. I could definitely see him getting some reverses, but I think the biggest part where he could play on offense, which I don't think he'll play a huge role on offense, but where I think he could play on offense especially is in the screen game. Because this is a guy that obviously is really good with the football in his hands. He has great vision with the ball as a returner, and the Patriots are known for their screen game. So I think with Patterson coming and not only him being a kick returner, but them trying to find ways to get the football in his hands, they could use him in that old Aaron Hernandez role and also occasionally as a receiver, occasionally give him the football as a running back. But I think you could see a lot of reverses with him and a lot of screens. I think the screen game would be the biggest thing to watch with him this season. I'm really intrigued to watch him in preseason and training camp to see what type of things they try with him. Obviously, I'm like fairly certain he's going to at least make the team because this is a loaded receiver position. You don't really know that, but he serves a role that is different from everybody else, and they traded for him, so he's more likely to make the team. But this also goes into beg a question of who's going to make the team now at receiver. Of course, Matthew Slater hasn't signed back yet. Is he going to be back as a special teams only player? Because now you're talking about maybe two receivers that are designated to special teams work. Now, Patterson can play receiver, but I'm not sure how big of a role he'll play there. I'm sure maybe a couple catches, a couple running attempts, but he's primarily a returner, and that's where he's best at. Matthew Slater is visiting the Steelers. We don't know if he's coming back or not. My guess is he'll probably come back because the Patriots will offer similar money to what the Steelers or whatever other team is allowing him to visit, and he'll probably come back. So then you're talking about Slater and Patterson probably both making the roster. And of course, you have Cooks and Edelman who are already on the team. Hogan is probably already on the team. So then you're fighting through a position of Malcolm Mitchell, Dorsett, and Kenny Britt. They brought back Kenny Britt. I'm not sure about Dorsett's contract, but it can't be too expensive. And then you have Malcolm Mitchell. I think Malcolm Mitchell will make it back, seeing as how, he was on injured reserve last year and he had a really good rookie season. So who is going to make it out of those players? I mean, unless they cut, are they going to cut both Dorsett and Britt? What was the point of bringing back Britt then if you were going to trade for Patterson? So there's a lot of interesting questions in regards to the receiver position, and that will be the most heavily there will be the most competition through that position for the Patriots this offseason, and it's going to be very interesting to watch. So I'm going to get to your comments now. Leave whatever questions you have about the Patriots Raiders trade. All right, so let's get to it. Deshaun Drakeford says that was a shocking move from Oakland. I don't know if it was shocking because I think because they have a new coach, because they have a new system per se, it's not really shocking because John Gruden's looking to bring in players that fit his system and fit his team and what he wants on his team. Like, it is an interesting move to let go of one of the best, if not the best returner in the league, but it's another thing to drop him because he doesn't really fit the offense and they would rather bring in a receiver that does. So there's a couple things in regards to that. And maybe John Gruden just didn't know how to use him on offense. And Maybe he felt like him as a returner wasn't enough. And the Patriots obviously is a team that has had a past of allowing players to play on the team even if they only play special teams. So even if Patterson only is a returner or only is a gunner, whatever he is, he's going to be on the team. It's the part of the offense is just an added bonus with the Patriots. With the Raiders, it's can you play offense? And if you can play offense, can you also play special teams? It's not, are you designated specialist on special teams like a Matthew Slater, who has basically never played receiver for the Patriots. He's played probably under 10 snaps, but he's such a good special teams player that he's been on the team for like the past 10 years. So there's that. Robot Guy said, yeah, he's a good returner. Rick Bad Boy says Patterson's not that good at running routes. Well, as I've discussed, it's not really for his receiving prowess. John says everybody loves helping out your team, Mitch. Yeah. No, the Patriots just make good moves and fair trades. That's all. That's all I got to say. Coach says underrated as a receiver. Brady makes anybody look good. Not sure how much work he's going to get as a receiver, but as I said, I would like to see how they use him. I actually think that they could use him a little bit as a running back and, like I said, in screens and stuff, and maybe some reverses. We saw a lot of reverses to Brandon Cooks last year. Maybe putting Cooks and Patterson out there, running some reverses would be pretty dangerous with both of their speed at receiver. Also, another thing that kind of came to my mind when they traded for him was you saw how the Chiefs sort of blew up the NFL with the way that they were using Tyreek Hill last year. And Cordarrelle Patterson is about as close of a player to Tyreek Hill as it gets in the NFL. He's not as good of a receiver, but he definitely can do some damage when he gets the ball in his hands, as I've discussed. And if they can find ways to use Cordarrelle Patterson the same way that the Chiefs have used Tyreek Hill, then you could potentially have a huge steal on your hands. All I'm really expecting from Patterson is to be a great returner, but anything else is just, you're playing with house money from that point on. So, yeah, I love the trade just because we're getting a great returner and we're getting a player that I really like. And he has a lot of potential that's kind of been left for other teams have not really taken control of that potential. I feel he's a great athlete. And I feel whenever you get a great athlete that can play football, he can help you no matter what position he is. When the Patriots drafted Julian Edelman, they said, we don't know where you're going to play, but you're a great athlete. So we're going to play you somewhere. So that's exactly, the type of trade that I think Bill Belichick is going after. He's a great athlete. Maybe they have a little bit of a plan or a little bit of a sense of what they're going to use him for, but they don't exactly know. He's a great returner and anything else will help. So I really like this trade because it's not a lot of money. The pick basically, not much because they move from the 5th to the 6th round and you get a player with it. So they're basically trading 2 picks for 1 and you're already getting an established guy. You're not going to get the best returner in the league for a 6th round pick. It's very doubtful unless you find Devin Hester out of the blue. So there you go. Ryan says, let's F and go. Rick Bad Boy says, I know, John, it's annoying. They always find trades. Adam says, NFL GMs, please stop giving the Patriots stuff. Why, Adam? Why can't you just be happy for me, bro? Come on. Benjamin says, we're on to the draft now. Alpha says, why did the Raiders let him go? He was a very good weapon for the team. Alpha, are you a Raiders fan? Maybe you could give some perspective on that. Machiavelli says he had over 300 receiving yards. He could easily go over 600 playing full-time. I agree with you, but I mean, the receivers that the Patriots have, it's not like he's really going to play a lot. Like I could see him playing, let's say he makes the roster over Dorsett. I could see him playing the Dorsett role as a receiver where he plays like 10 snaps at receiver and he'll maybe catch 2 passes a game and then he'll return kicks. Or like maybe he'll get like 5 touches and like 2 catches and 3 carries or something like that. And I would be fine with that. Like, I think that would be cool overall. But if this guy shows up in training camp and he's better than even Belichick expected and he can bring something else to the team, I'm all for it. The Patriots are going to get Jeff Janis. Is that just because he's white? Rick Badboy, don't be surprised if he barely plays a receiver. What are you guys' thoughts on Terrell Pryor? I like Terrell Pryor. I think he has a lot of athleticism. He's big, obviously. He's like 6'4", and he has good speed. I still think he, like, as a Brown, he exploded. As a Redskin, he just didn't fit in the system, and I don't think he can really be a #1 receiver. But I think there are teams out there that can use him for sure. And I'm surprised that he hasn't been signed yet to at least like a small contract. So yeah, I don't mind Terrell Pryor. Elena's dad says, how much help does LeBron need? I don't know. How much help does LeBron need? Kevin Durkant says, hi. Maybe trade a Dorsett and a pick to get an offensive tackle. Maybe. They just traded for Dorsett last year. I don't know. Maybe they could trade Dorsett. I'm not sure. Dorsett was pretty good last year for when he was called upon, so maybe you could get like a 7th or something for him, or 6th, possibly. Drakeford says they might use him as a reliever and receiver. Welker Edelman, I agree. No, I'm not going to argue with you there. What I would say Edelman is more clutch, though. I think he's proven that. And I probably like Edelman a little bit better, but I think Welker was the better player for sure. Rick Badboy says, want to see Patterson at running back like Ty Montgomery. Yeah, I think they're going to use him. Like I said, I think they're going to use him sort of like, I would like to actually go back and watch the Aaron Hernandez film from 2012 and kind of see how they used him. Because if you guys remember what I'm talking about, like I think a specific game you could look at is the divisional game in the 2012 playoffs against the Broncos. I know I remember these crazy things, but go back and watch that game and you could see maybe how Patterson could be used, because he is that sort of like athlete that could be used in that way. Drakeford says, can't wait for the 2018 season. I can't wait either. Patriots kind of started off slow. I'm ready to cover it too. I'm excited. The Patriots started off slow in free agency, but it's gotten a lot better. I'm liking their moves, and they've kind of went back to the old Patriot approach, it seems. They're getting a lot of players that, again, mid-tier values, or guys that like a lot of teams maybe aren't valuing quite as much as they are, and they're sneaking in there, they're trading for them, or they're signing them, and they're getting them for good money, they're getting them for good value, and they're not having to break the bank. So like last year, they had to trade a first to get Brandon Cooks, which was a good trade, but they had to trade their first-round pick. They had to pay $65 million for Stephon Gilmore, which is a lot. He's a good player, don't get me wrong, it worked out, but that's a lot of money, and you're breaking the bank for that player. And when you do those sort of moves, you don't allow yourself to get those smaller moves, but those depth moves. Like the biggest problem with the Patriots last year was the problem that they were hurt a lot, and they didn't have a lot of depth at key positions. Like they didn't have a lot of depth at linebacker, and they didn't have a lot of depth at defensive end. And these positions could have used depth with that money that you gave to other players and with those picks that you used on other players. So that's just my opinion on it. Like, I like this approach better. If you're already a good team, just address your needs by the small moves. You don't need to go out there and try to hit a home run. Just go out there and try and fill your team out with players that you think could help your team and make your team better. Make your good team a great team. And I think that's what the Patriots are trying to do. I know that they lost a few players, and, you know, they may be missed. We'll see. I think still the biggest question mark is who's going to replace left tackle Nate Solder. But overall, like, I like what the Patriots have done to counter that. Who are the biggest threats to the Patriots in the AFC? Asked Elena's dad. Can I just ask why that's your name? Okay. Biggest threats. I would probably still say the Jaguars. But I think the Jaguars and the Texans are the two biggest threats to the Patriots. Whoever looks better throughout the year. The reason why It's tough, but the reason why I would maybe say the Texans is because their advantage at quarterback and their ability to score. Like, if you can't score on a consistent basis against the Patriots, you're probably not going to win because their offense is so good that they're going to beat any defense. You know, like the defense may get them for like a period of time, but you're going to need to be able to score like the Eagles did in the Super Bowl and able to in order to beat them overall. Like, you're going to need to have the ball. So I would say maybe the Texans, but it's probably the Jags just out of respect for what they did last year. And then I would say the Steelers are probably third still. And then after that, I think it drops off. Like, I don't really know who else is a contender in the AFC. You could maybe, say the Chiefs, maybe if Patrick Mahomes is great. The Chargers, if they make a couple more moves and stay healthy, I think they were a team that got robbed of being in the playoffs last year. And they have the type of team that could beat the Patriots if they put it all together. And they have a good draft. And I think the Titans, if Mariota and if Vrabel works out as a coach and Mariota plays a lot better, those are the teams that I look at as being in the playoff conversation at the moment. But the AFC East is just bad right now. Like, it was better last year. I think the moves this free agency have made these teams worse. Maybe the Jets are better. Maybe. But that's it. The AFC North, the Ravens are not good anymore. The Bengals are not good anymore. The Browns are not there yet. The AFC South, the Colts, I named 3 teams. The Colts are not there yet. The Broncos, I think, are done. I don't think the Broncos are still hanging around as a team. But, we'll see. Ready for WrestleMania. I'll definitely be watching it. I'm not quite ready yet because I honestly, I don't even watch Raw right now or SmackDown, but I try and keep up. And it's not looking too hot for me, in my opinion, but let me know what you think about it. What match are you excited about? Benjamin says Jags, Pittsburgh, Texans, and Chargers. Elena's dad says Steelers will always lose to the Patriots, but I mean, you got to give them the respect to put them in the conversation. Drakeford says Patriots are going to Super Bowl 53. Yeah, the Texans are good. I don't know if you saw them play when Watson played, but they were pretty good. Plus, they're, if they're healthy, they could be good. It could be legit. Rick Badboy, which teams do you think will regret their signings? Bob says the Patriots are giving up nothing so far. These trades are smart. Yeah, I think the trades are smart. I think I pretty much went over everything that I thought about, like what they could do with Cordarrelle Patterson. But the main things are, he's a kick returner, punt returner. He's very good at it. He'll help in that facet. He replaces Amendola and Lewis and is an upgrade in that department. Then you have the fact that he can possibly play receiver and running back as a depth option and as a gadget player, and the Patriots love those type of players. I think he'll be explosive when he gets the ball in his hands on reverses and on screens, and he's just another thing to worry about if you're an opposing defense. And then the last thing is, okay, what happens because of this move? Is Dorsett cut, traded? Is Kenny Britt gone? Does Slater come back? Like, there's a lot of questions in regards to Patterson and who makes the roster and who doesn't. But that's the main points. Those are like 4 to 5 points that you have to really consider with the Cordarrelle Patterson move. But I think with him, it's going to be interesting. Like I said earlier, what happens in training camp? I want to see what happens in training camp. I love training camp. Leon says they have a great potential to be a great offense, but we need more help on defense. I think the defensive help is coming more in the draft. I'm sure they'll sign a couple more veteran players. Again, it's only a week in free agency. We'll see a couple signings here and there as we get through the months of March, April, May, June. We'll see a couple of signings. Maybe some veterans come in. They brought in actually Eric Ebron today. I wouldn't be surprised if Eric Ebron signs tomorrow. Don't be surprised if Eric Ebron signs tomorrow to come in as the second tight end. And if he does, they'll cut Dwayne Allen. I guarantee it. It's going to be interesting to see if they cut Dwayne Allen and Mike Gillislee. I also haven't heard anything on Sue. I heard the Patriots were interested, but like to me, again, it doesn't make much sense. Like it doesn't seem like it's going to happen. But again, if they are going to sign Sue, they probably have to cut like Allen and Gillislee. But we'll see. Dolphins. I wouldn't discount the Texans. Like they're good. I don't like they have talent. Adam says, why don't they have as much talent? Like, sure, they still need a corner. Maybe they get that in the draft, but and an offensive lineman. But they're not too far off. I mean, I think they're a pretty good team. I think they could beat the Steelers. I think they could beat the Steelers. Thank you, Predator. Really, that's the match you're most excited for? That's a match I could give a shit about, to be honest. But hope you enjoy it. Kevin Durkant says Chargers are never a damn threat and won't be a playoff team next year. Well, I hope so. I hope so, damn it. Oh, I didn't even bring this up. My boy, guys, let's all tweet Danny Woodhead. Tweet Danny Woodhead, Instagram Danny Woodhead. Tell him that he had a great career, great player, one of my favorite players of all time. Make sure you let him know. Thank you for his services as a Patriot, as a football player. Thank you as an inspiration. The great Danny Woodhead has retired. Sad day. Amazing player, amazing guy. I love Danny Woodhead. I wish him the best outside of football. Elena's the dad. I hate having to say Elena's dad. Elena's dad. They don't overhype the Texans defense. It was just last year it was overhyped because the year before they were the number one defense in the league. RVD says, will Oakland rebound if David Carr has a good season? It's possible, yeah. I could see it. I could see them making the playoffs. I think that division is open. I think that division is open for the taking. I think, the Chargers are probably the most all-around talented team, but you have the Chiefs who have been there for the last few years. Now there's a question at quarterback. Can Mahomes be good enough in his rookie year? I think he's going to be a good quarterback, but the matter is, can he be good enough in his rookie year to get them somewhere? And I think he will in an AFC that's not too great. The Broncos still have too many holes to me, and I don't think Case Keenum is really the full answer. And then you have the Raiders, who are a question mark. Can their offense be better? If their offense is better, and it is like it was 2 years ago, then we're talking about a team that could be a playoff team. Plus, I kind of like what they've done defensively, and John Gruden could give them kind of a kick in the ass. So maybe the Raiders could be a team in the conversation for the playoffs, but I still think they have quite a few holes. I don't really think they could be a contender, but I think that they could be a playoff team. Like you could see them as a playoff team. They have the potential to do that. I just don't know if they have the potential to go very far once they get there. Where do you think Ebron is going? If he doesn't go to New England, I don't know where else he's meeting. I haven't really thought about this question, but let me look up. Let me do my classic NFL teams search. Okay. Not the Packers. Broncos. I wonder if the Saints would take a look at him. Dolphins, maybe. Um, Maybe the Ravens. I think that's it. I think the main competitors would be the Ravens, the Dolphins, the Saints, the Patriots, and I think that's it. I may be missing one. Maybe the 49ers. That's it, I think. Man, I would love if the Patriots drafted Lamar Jackson. Don't even tease me with that. Yes, I think Dwayne Allen had a catch last year. I think it took like 8 games, but he had a catch. Rivers is a Hall of Famer to me as well, but he probably actually I don't know. He might get in, but I think Bennett is going to go to the Eagles if he doesn't retire. There's always a possibility of him coming back really cheap to the Patriots, but I think that he would probably go to the Eagles or retire. That's my answer. Fournette is not the best running back in the league. Come on, bro. Ramsey is the best corner. I agree. Jadeveon Clowney, he's in the chat once again. He thinks the Texans are 19-0. I see. There you go. Cordarrelle. No Cordarrelle? Okay, for people that are just coming in, Patriots have traded for Cordarrelle Patterson. Cordarrelle Patterson is one of the best kick returners in the league. Look him up. He has 3-time All-Pro, 2-time Pro Bowler. He's also used as a gadget player on offense, as a receiver, and as a running back. He's going to be used in reverses, with run plays and screens and gadget plays and trick plays. And maybe he could play a little receiver if guys are hurt or whatever. And he can be used maybe as an occasional deep threat, but he's going to primarily be the kick returner, punt returner for the team, replacing Danny Amendola and Dion Lewis in those roles. Fournette is good. Don't get me wrong. I just don't think he is the best running back in the league. Bob says, if Ebron goes to the Pats, then their offense would be unstoppable. I would like to see it because I think Ebron still has potential. He has been known to have a little bit of stone hands, but honestly, his stats throughout his young career are pretty good. And like he has pretty good like metrics as well, like advanced metrics. So I don't really understand the whole like Eric Ebron sucks thing. I think he is fine. I just don't think he's lived up to his billing as a first-round pick, considering who was picked after him. That's the biggest problem with Eric Ebron. But other than that, I think he's been a fine tight end. I would like to have him as the second tight end for sure. He is more of a receiver, though. Like, he's not really much of a blocker, which I don't know what the Patriots, would use him for, but we'll see. I don't think Gronk's going to retire, but hope not. No, Gronk has not. Oh, no, yeah, he has. Against Seattle. He won that game, Kevin Durant. If you didn't get the YouTube notification for this broadcast, make sure you hit the notification bell on our channel, and then you'll be notified whenever we put a video up. No problem, killing boys. Can we all argue Mark Ingram is better than Kamara? It's close. They're different players. That's all I can answer. They're different players. They're both better in different ways. I don't know. What else you got me? What else you guys need from me? Actually, I'm going to be posting the rest of those analysis videos. I posted most of them already. The Tyrann Mathieu one is probably going to come out next, and I have to edit a couple more of them, and then the rest of them will be out tomorrow. So, like, pretty much all of the big free agency analysis videos will be out by tomorrow. So I'll have all of those out, and then I'll just be able to keep up with whatever bigger moves are coming, like the Sue move, and whatever other big moves are coming. That is weird, RVD. I don't know. I don't know. That's weird. Maybe it's because this is a Google Hangout. I don't know. Maybe if it's YouTube Live, it gets better reception. I'm not sure. Maybe I should try YouTube Live instead in the future when I'm just solo. But yeah, I'll have to look into that, I guess. I agree with Ghost Skittle. All right, guys. I think I'm going to wrap it up. I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream discussing Cordarrelle Patterson being traded to the New England Patriots. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, hit the like button. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel for more NFL. Tell all your friends. Share it on Twitter, your Instagram, your Facebook. Share it with your dogs, your cats, your parents, your friends, your next door neighbor, anybody that you know. Make sure to tell them that the Bottom Line View is the place to go for the NFL. If you did enjoy, again, hit the like button, subscribe, and look out for those analysis videos coming soon. And as well, hit the notification bell if you haven't, which keeps you up to date with the channel with the latest. Thanks guys for tuning in. Thanks guys for liking the video, subscribing, and appreciate you all. See you next time. From Mitch, peace out.